Have you ever met someone so intelligent that being around them made everyone else feel a little smaller? The kind of person who always has the answer before the question is finished. The kind of person who can solve difficult problems with frightening speed. The kind of person teachers praise, managers promote, and families proudly point to as proof of success. On the outside, they look unstoppable. But on the inside, something is missing. They are respected, but not loved. Admired, but not trusted. Surrounded by people, but still strangely alone. Maybe you know someone like that. Or maybe, quietly, painfully, that person is you. Maybe you spent your whole life believing that intelligence would protect you. If you became smart enough, skilled enough, successful enough, then life would finally reward you. People would understand you. Doors would open. Happiness would follow. But what happens when the very gift that makes you impressive also makes you difficult to be around? What happens when your sharp mind becomes a sharp edge? What happens when you win every argument, but lose every connection? Stay with me until the end, because this story is about one of the most dangerous illusions in modern life. The belief that being smart is enough. In a busy city filled with glass buildings, ambitious professionals, and endless competition, there lived a 29-year-old software engineer named Adrien. Adrien was not average. He was exceptional. From the time he was a child, people noticed him. He learned faster than others. He solved puzzles adults struggled with. He asked questions that made teachers pause. His parents believed he was destined for something great. And for many years, life seemed to confirm that belief. Adrien graduated at the top of his university class. He won awards. He earned scholarships. He joined one of the fastest-growing technology companies in the city. At work, he was known as the person who could fix almost anything. When systems crashed, Adrien found the problem. When deadlines became impossible, Adrien delivered. When senior developers got stuck, Adrien stepped in. By every visible measure, he was successful. But the parts of life that matter most are often invisible. Every day, Adrien walked into an office full of people and still felt alone. At lunch, he sat by himself, not because he loved silence, but because no one invited him. When colleagues laughed in the hallway, the laughter softened when he approached. When teams celebrated birthdays, he was sometimes told late or not told at all. In meetings, people listened when Adrien spoke, but their faces were tense. They respected his mind. They avoided his presence. Adrien told himself this did not matter. I'm here to work, he thought, not to make friends. But that was not strength. It was protection. Because deep down, Adrien was lonely. He just did not have the emotional language to admit it. Adrien had a habit that slowly damaged every relationship around him. He corrected people immediately. If an idea was weak, he said so. If someone made a mistake, he exposed it. If someone spoke with emotion, he dismissed it as irrational. To him, this was honesty. To others, it felt like humiliation. Adrien did not believe he was arrogant. He believed he was efficient. He thought truth mattered more than comfort. Logic mattered more than feelings. Results mattered more than relationships. But here is what he did not understand. People do not pull away from intelligence. They pull away from the way intelligence is used. A brilliant mind can become a gift, or it can become a weapon. It depends on whether it is carried with humility. Adrien's younger sister, Lena, understood this better than he did. She was a school teacher in their hometown. She did not earn as much money. She did not have impressive technical skills. But people loved being around her. Children trusted her. Parents respected her. Friends called her when they needed comfort. One evening, Lena called Adrien and asked, "When was the last time you had dinner with a friend?" Adrien laughed coldly. "I don't need friends. I need focus." Lena was silent for a moment. Then she said, "No, brother. You need people. You just don't know how to need them." Adrien became irritated and ended the call quickly. But her words stayed with him. Because somewhere beneath his pride, he knew she was right. He knew how to succeed. He did not know how to connect. And soon, life would make that weakness impossible to ignore. A major opportunity came on a Monday morning in October. Adrien's company had won a project to build a software system for a large hospital network. The deadline was tight. The pressure was high. The client was important. Because Adrien was the strongest engineer, he was promoted to team lead. Finally, he thought, this is my chance. He believed leadership meant being the smartest person in charge. So he led the only way he knew how. He analyzed. He corrected. He controlled. When team members suggested ideas, he interrupted. That won't work. When junior developers asked for help, he replied, you should be able to figure this out. When someone wrote imperfect code, he rewrote it himself without explanation. In Adrien's mind, he was saving time, but in his team's hearts, he was destroying trust. At first, they tried to keep up. Then they stopped sharing ideas. Then they stopped asking questions. Then they stopped caring. Within weeks, the project began to fall behind. 3 team members requested transfers. The remaining 2 did only the minimum. Adrien was shocked. He had worked harder than everyone. He had solved more problems than everyone. How could they say he was the issue? Then his manager, Miss Santos, called him into her office. She looked tired, but not angry. Adrien, she said, you are one of the most intelligent people in this company. He waited for praise, but it did not come. And right now, she continued, you are also one of our most expensive problems. Adrien froze. Miss Santos leaned forward. Your team does not feel led by you. They feel diminished by you. They say you dismiss them, embarrass them, and make them afraid to contribute. Adrien tried to defend himself. I only wanted the best solution. She nodded. I believe you. But the best solution means nothing if you destroy the people needed to build it. The room became very quiet. Then she said the sentence that broke through his pride. Talent without emotional intelligence becomes a liability. That day, Adrien lost his leadership role. Not because he lacked knowledge. Not because he lacked discipline. Not because he lacked talent. He lost it because people did not feel safe around him. That evening, Adrien sat alone in his apartment. His awards were on the wall. His certificates were framed neatly. His laptop glowed on the table. Everything around him said he was successful. But inside, he felt empty. For the first time in his life, he asked a question no exam had ever taught him to answer. If I'm so smart, why does my life feel so broken? A few days later, Adrien wandered into a quiet park near his apartment. He had no plan. He only wanted to escape the noise inside his mind. He sat on a wooden bench beneath an old tree. An elderly man sat nearby, feeding birds from a small paper bag. He had calm eyes and a peaceful presence, the kind that made silence feel safe. After a few minutes, the man looked at Adrien and said, "You look like someone carrying a heavy, invisible bag." Adrien almost ignored him, but something in the man's voice felt different. So Adrien spoke. "I lost my team at work. I was supposed to lead them. Instead, they all wanted to leave." The old man nodded. "Were you qualified?" "Yes," Adrien said quickly. "More than anyone else." The man smiled gently. "That is not what I asked. I asked if you were a good leader." Adrien had no answer. The old man reached into his coat and pulled out two objects, a small flashlight and a candle. He turned on the flashlight. A bright beam cut through the air. "This is intelligence," he said. "Focused, sharp, powerful. It helps you see problems clearly." Then he lit the candle. The flame was small, soft, and warm. "This is emotional intelligence. It does not shine as far, but it changes the space around it." Adrien frowned. "The flashlight is stronger." "Yes," the old man said, "but the candle makes people want to come closer." Adrien looked at the flame. The old man continued, "Your mind may show people the path, but your warmth determines whether they want to walk it with you." Then he said something Adrien would never forget. "People do not follow the brightest person. They follow the person who makes them feel safe. Something inside Adrien cracked. Not from shame, from recognition. He had spent his entire life sharpening his mind, but almost no time softening his presence. He knew how to prove. He did not know how to comfort. He knew how to correct. He did not know how to listen. He knew how to win. He did not know how to belong. The old man gave him 3 lessons. First, he said, before you speak, ask yourself, will this make the other person feel smaller or stronger? Second, listen to understand, not to prepare your next correction. And third, remember this, being right and being alone is not victory. It is the most expensive kind of losing. Adrien walked home slowly that day. For the first time, he did not think about how others needed to change. He thought about how he needed to change. The following Monday, Adrien returned to work differently. Not dramatically, quietly. In a meeting, a colleague suggested an approach Adrien immediately saw was flawed. His old instinct rose inside him. That won't work. But before the words escaped, he paused. Will this make them feel smaller or stronger? He took a breath. That's an interesting direction, he said. Can we look together at one part that might create a problem later? The colleague looked surprised, then relieved. Sure, she said. It was a small moment, but for Adrien, it felt enormous. Over the next weeks, he practiced. When someone spoke, he made eye contact. When a junior developer struggled, he asked, "What have you tried so far?" When he disagreed, he slowed down. When someone made a mistake, he corrected privately instead of publicly. At first, it felt inefficient. His ego resisted. Listening felt slow. Patience felt unnatural. Kindness felt almost awkward. But slowly, something changed. People stopped avoiding him. A colleague invited him to lunch. Another asked for his advice without fear. Meetings became less tense. Ideas returned. Adrien began to understand that emotional intelligence was not weakness. It was strength under control. It was the ability to tell the truth without making someone feel worthless. It was the ability to lead without humiliating. It was the ability to be powerful without making others feel powerless. 1 month later, the hospital project hit a critical problem. The team could not find the cause. Miss Santos came to Adrien. "They need your help," she said. "But I need to know. Can you help without taking over?" Adrien nodded. "I'll try." In the emergency meeting, Adrien saw the issue quickly. His old self would have announced the answer and taken control. But this time, he asked questions. What patterns are we seeing? What changed before the failure? What does this result suggest? Slowly, the team arrived at the solution. When they found it, Adrien said, "Excellent work. That was a strong approach." The room felt different. No fear, no embarrassment, only relief and confidence. The project launched on time. Afterward, Miss Santos called Adrien back into her office. This time, she smiled. "I received feedback from the team," she said. "They said you were helpful, respectful, and collaborative." Adrien listened quietly. "Your intelligence got our attention years ago," she continued, "but your growth is what earned our trust." For the first time in a long time, Adrien felt proud in a new way. Not proud because he had proven he was right. Proud because people wanted him there. That evening, he called Lena. "You were right," he said. "I needed people. I just didn't know how to be with them." Lena laughed softly. The genius finally learned the obvious. Adrien smiled. "The obvious," he said, "was the hardest thing I ever learned." My friend, Adrien's story is not just about work. It is about life. We live in a world that worships intelligence. We measure people with grades, scores, titles, salaries, and achievements. From childhood, we are told that being smart will make us successful. And yes, intelligence matters. It can open doors. It can solve problems. It can create opportunities. But intelligence alone cannot build trust. It cannot repair a broken relationship. It cannot make someone feel valued. It cannot teach you when silence is better than correction. It cannot show you how to hold someone's pain without trying to fix it immediately. That requires emotional wisdom. The most successful people are not always the smartest in the room. They are often the ones who know how to listen, how to encourage, how to make others feel seen, and how to speak truth without crushing the person hearing it. So here is your challenge. The next time you want to correct someone, pause. Ask yourself, am I trying to help, or am I trying to prove I am right? The next time someone speaks to you, listen for what they feel, not only what they say. And this week, make one person feel valued. A colleague, a family member, a stranger. Not because you need something from them, but because kindness is a language every human being understands. You do not need to choose between IQ and EQ. You need both. Be the flashlight when clarity is needed, but be the candle when warmth is required. Because a brilliant mind may impress people, but a wise heart makes people feel safe. And in the end, people may forget your answers. They may forget your achievements. They may forget how many times you were right, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Adrien nearly lost everything because he thought intelligence was enough. Do not make the same mistake. Sharpen your mind, but soften your heart. Build your skills, but protect your humanity. Because intelligence may open the door, but kindness is what keeps it open. And the people who truly change the world are not only the ones who shine the brightest, they are the ones who bring enough warmth for others to shine too.